Okay, we're going to open the City of Chelsea Traffic and Parking Commission meeting. Okay. Approval of the minutes from the April 6th, 2021 meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, just briefly out of order, numbers 5 and 7 on the agenda, we've already voted on to move to a public hearing, but they're on here now because we just had a problem with the timetable of getting the information out. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, number 3, communication July 14th from Joseph Protonda of 89 Clinton Street, requesting to look into placing speed bumps to slow down traffic on Clinton Street.
Hi, Joseph Rotonda, 89 Clinton Street. Yeah, this has been up for a while now. We talked about putting speed bumps on Clinton Street, but I had sent something to Rosa to amend this, to put in a speed table instead. I think that would be more feasible than putting the speed bumps down. But if we can do something about this, I know it's always sooner than later. It's been going on for a while, but I'm just worried about the safety of the residents on that street, being close to the projects, and people speeding up and down the street on motorcycles and regular cars coming from both ways. You know, we put some signboards up there, but it doesn't seem to slow them down. They know it's there. They slow down when they see it, then they race up again. But you know, if something can be done about this, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So since we met last and heard the request, we have connected with our transportation engineering consultant, Tech, who we prepared a scope of work for a traffic calming study of the street that should begin to delve into the safety and speeding issues that you've identified in the request. So they're going to be performing the study over the course of the next month, and they'll be able to look at speed bumps, speed tables, and other traffic calming devices, gauge the feasibility of all of them, develop cost estimates, and then a plan for us to approach traffic calming through the entirety of Clinton Street. So it would be our goal to present this plan to the Traffic and Parking Commission, as well as yourself and other residents, in order to solicit input before we agree on implementation. So right now we're presently contracting with them, and then by the June Traffic and Parking Commission meeting, we should have some conceptual design plans to showcase and some recommendations that we can discuss with you and the neighbors on Clinton Street.
Okay, so probably not till, next meeting, next June's meeting, we should have something?
So that would be the first week of June. We should have
good.
some recommendations from the consultant. Yep.
All right, good. Thanks.
Great. I also, prior to this meeting, we had a conversation with both the police chief and the fire chief, and I just wanted to reiterate the position that fire in particular has taken with speed bumps, right? Is that speed bumps are good at delaying traffic, but it's really bad from a public safety standpoint, right? So one main concern that they have is obviously where they're trying to get to an incident, right, or a fire or a medical issue. The speed bump really causes a lot of damage on the fire trucks, and can delay obviously the apparatus from getting there on time. So the fire chief and the police chief have been clear that their policy is to oppose the implementation of these, but are okay if they're accompanied by a study, right? So it's not, a resident requested on one street and we put it in, and another resident requested on another street, we put it in. That that we use our traffic engineers, as Alex have said, to take a look at traffic counts and speeds and see, if in fact more measures are required, right? Are validated. So that's the approach that we're going to take, obviously, on Clinton Street. I will say that in the last probably 6 months, we've completed probably 6 of these studies. So on Orange, on Clark, on Clinton, on Beacon Street, and the studies obviously are expensive, right? So a small city like Chelsea, we can't possibly study every intersection and block at the same time. So we'll start prioritizing these, obviously, and we'll answer to the residents accordingly. With Clinton Street, we have a contract in place already, and it's committed to already.
So the motion is to table it?
So I'd make a motion to table this until the June meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, communication of September 23rd from Councilor Recupero requesting the commission to look into placing speed bumps between Suffolk Street and Marginal Street and on Essex Street between Highland Street and Lynn Street.
I will say that and it's the main reason why I closed out the last comment as we are willing to take an in-depth look at some streets, right? I mean, but we can't do it on all streets. With Essex Street and Highland, it was just rebuilt. We just finished the paving actually of that street, both Suffolk, Essex, and Highland. And at this time, I don't think that we have the appetite of pursuing a study on the street, given all of the other studies that we are performing. So I would recommend that we deny this request. And as we know, speed bumps are opposed to by police and fire, and to change their mind, it's going to require a traffic study every time. So I make a motion to deny this request.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor of denying the request?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 6, communication of March 8th, 2021 from Jillian Jenkins of 64 Parker Street requesting to install a blinking red light on the corner of Parker Street and Clark Avenue.
So since fielding this request, this is another item that we are assessing presently to determine both the traffic volume and circulation patterns through the intersection, as well as what measures might be best to mitigate some of the safety issues that this resident identified. So come the June meeting, we'll have recommendations for this intersection, and we'll also have some commentary around the feasibility of a blinking light and what a light might cost.
Alex, would it be possible when they do that study if we could also add Parker Street and Tudor? It's a two-way stop right now, but most people don't see the stop sign and they don't realize that Tudor has the right of way.
Absolutely, we can have our staff look into that. Yep. So I would make a motion then to table this item until June, pending the outcome of our assessment.
Second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 8, communication of April 6th from Paul Coolian, V911, requesting to rename the street abutting the senior center known as Riley Way to another street name.
So since we received the request, just some background on this request. There's 2 Riley Ways in Chelsea. One is in the produce center, and the other one is across the street from City Hall. So when someone looks up 10 Riley Way, which is the address of the senior center, it's confusing, right? I mean, and it causes some traffic when tractor trailers are trying to get to the produce center, but end up here, right, in City Hall. So really the only change we can make is to change the name of either one of them, either the one on in the produce center or the one in City Hall. However, I know that Riley Way was actually voted on by some residents. So I will ask that we table this request until we can do some more research about why Riley Way is called Riley Way, because I'm a little bit sensitive to change the name of Riley Way if it was done in honor of a resident.
And just out of curiosity, how do they go about changing? like, where do you come up with the name? I mean, how does that work?
It's a long process, definitely. But I think the start of this was to put it in front of the Traffic and Parking Commission as an FYI and a blessing to begin that process.
So the motion is to,
To table until next month.
I'll second that motion.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, communication April 16th from Ronnie Valdivia of 5 Medford Street requesting an exemption to Article 13, Section 13-4 in order to receive a parking permit for an MBTA-issued vehicle.
Okay, can I speak on this for a little bit? So he sent me a communication because he wasn't going to be able to come to the meeting. So, dear commission members, my name is Ronnie Valdivia. I reside at 5 Medford Street, Unit 2 in Chelsea. I am writing to you to request an exemption to Article 13, Section 13-4 in order to obtain a parking permit for a vehicle that my employer, the MBTA, has issued to me. I recently joined the MBTA as the Director of Asset Management, and one of the privileges of which I am grateful for is to have a take-home vehicle assigned to me. The vehicle in question is a white 2015 Chevy Equinox. It does not have any markings or any signage which would be an eyesore or nuisance to the community. The only distinctive feature is its license plate, which consists of a familiar T logo followed by 3 digits. The current regulations apply to passenger or commercial plated vehicles, of which this plate type does not conform to either option. Furthermore, per Section 13-4.2, the regulation requires that the RMV registration of the vehicle list my residential address as the garaging address. I have attempted to comply with this request by escalating internally with my employer, but unfortunately the MBTA does not perform such alterations to their RMV records. I am requesting that you please grant me an exception to the current regulations so that I may legally park in my neighborhood while executing my duties as a public servant with my employer. Ideally, a residential parking sticker is requested. However, I would be content to pay out of pocket for a commercial permit if the option presents. Thank you for your time and regards. So Jeanette, when we first got this email, Jeanette asked me to look into it a little further to see what neighboring communities, how they handle it. So I called Somerville, and the car has to be garaged in Somerville. There's no exception. And I called, it was Somerville and Cambridge, I think it was. I have it here. And they don't allow it either. Yeah, Cambridge. It's the same thing. The car has to be garaged in the town. So Somerville and Cambridge don't make any exceptions either. The vehicle has to be garaged in their city.
Thank you for looking into that for us.
Yeah, this is a hard one. I mean, it's a hard one because we understand the concerns of our resident. Maybe 2 months ago, we battled with a similar issue on Broadway, where it was a support home, basically that they had a van that had to be parked at the property in order to provide the services, and they asked for an exemption, right? I mean, so unfortunately, I mean, we get these all the time from private companies or from nonprofits, and the fear is that when we updated the parking regulations, it was a long process that was validated through the residents, through city council. It was formally approved, and even though I am empathetic to this resident, it's just hard to make exceptions, because it's, once you grant, one exemption, you set a precedent, you know, for more in the future. So unfortunately, I wouldn't support making this exception.
Yeah, echoing what the commissioner stated with regards to the, you know, intensive process that was undertaken to create the new on-street parking regulations. You know, creating any type of exemption or, you know, carve out for a specific, you know, resident or specific issue, you know, does open up the, you know, quote unquote floodgates. And because we don't have a process that's set out in the ordinance right now for how to make exemptions and how to ensure that that's really fair, impartial, and objective, we wouldn't be supportive of accepting this request for an exemption, although we do remain extremely empathetic to the petitioner.
Okay, so your motion is to deny?
Yes. Motion is to deny.
I would second that.
Okay, all in favor of denying?
Aye.
Okay. Meeting adjourned?
Thank you.
Adjourn.
Thank you.